Page number 91, unit number 8. And by the way, you must read all the units. I tell you, for essay writing and for report writing, this book is ideal. Right? I mean, this will give you a very good start and then you can move on. So, comparative graph. Now, what is a comparative graph? A comparative graph is a graph where there is comparison. What is comparison? Your shoes are better than my shoes. Huh? The color of your jacket is better than the color of my jacket. Your hairstyle is better than me, or my hairstyle is better than you. Okay, so this is what we call comparison. In comparison, they will give you 2 to 3 items and you have to compare, right? Let's just take a start, page number 91. Task 1, writing. How to write about comparative graphs. In this unit, you will look at how to write about a graph or table without a trend. There is a graph with a trend. I'll teach you that later. Information given in this type of chart does not change over time. They will only give you 1 year data, 1 year information. It will not fluctuate or change. It will not go up or come down. There will be the information. You just have to compare. Let's take a look at this example. The graph shows data about the average Saturday sales of 2 bakeries in London in 2010. Now, if they give you 2010 to 2015, then that is a graph with a trend. But they only said average Saturday sales of 2 bakeries in London in 2010, so it's a comparative graph. Okay, summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. Now let's take a look. You can enlarge this bar chart. You can see we've got lovely loaves and Bernie's buns. And the items are, what are the items down there? Cakes, cookies, rolls. Exactly. So which item is number 1? Donuts. Donuts are number 1. So it means when you start the body of your report, first you will talk about donuts. In comparative graph, you need to start from the highest, the second highest, or the most popular, second most popular, third most popular, and if the data is very large, then you can pick up few things from there. If the data is small, like this one, so then you can define all of it. Is that clear? After donut, number 2. Cookies. Okay. And then you can talk about crisps. Clear? Now, please look here. Whenever you write a report, it's got 3 parts. Part 1 is called introduction. And there is a very simple way to write introduction, which I'm going to tell you right now. Part 2 is called overview. Overview. And part 3 is called body of the report. Introduction, overview, and body of the report. Now, what is introduction? Very simple. The sentence which they have given you here. The graph shows data about the average Saturday sales of 2 bakeries in London in 2010. You have to reword and rearrange this sentence. Understand? Reword, so that examiner knows it's not the copy. If you copy anything from the question paper, it will be out of the word count. If you copy any sentence from the question paper, exactly, that will be out of the word count. Same rule, get out. Okay, yeah, so don't copy, rearrange so that examiner should not see it's the same thing, and reword. For example, they use the word graph. You use the word bar chart because it's a bar chart. Then they use the word data. You can use the word information or details. They said average Saturday sales. Now, you cannot reword Saturday. Okay, that you say, I'll write Sunday. Saturday cannot be reworded. And then sales of 2 bakeries. Bakeries cannot be reworded as well. London cannot be reworded. I will write Lahore because this is my city. Right? So never reword the proper nouns like that. in 2010. Okay, so please come over here. We have the bullet points. This is what I already explained. Write an introduction to the topic of the graph in your own words. Second bullet point. Give an overview of the main ideas in the graph. We are going to go through it, by the way. A detailed report we are going to study. Then describe the most important details, including numbers, paragraph 3 and 4. And remember, when you write overview, there is no conclusion of the report. There is no need for any conclusion when you write overview of the report. Okay? Now, take a look at this, and you can come to page number 96. I will just tell you there are few sentences which you can use in your report, which you can copy from here as well. So, model answer. Page number 96. Page 96, and instead of holding your mobile like this, hold it like this. Make the paragraph bigger so that you could read it easily. We've got this book available. If anybody wants to get, Yasin is there. Model answer, comparative graph. So, this bar graph compares. Whenever you get bar graph and it's a comparative graph, you can copy this. This bar graph compares. This pie chart compares. This line graph compares. You can copy it because it's comparison. Or you can, instead of writing compares, you can say gives a comparison. Gives a detailed comparison. Play with the words. Try to write a variety, okay? Compares the most popular items sold by 2 bakeries in London on a typical Saturday in 2010. So this is rewording of the sentence which they gave over there. Now you're going to give a little reference of the items. Like on x-axis and y-axis, you will give a little reference to that. The graph shows average sales of 8 items. Right? Now, instead of writing all 8 items, never do that. Right? The graph shows average sales of 8 items, comma, including cakes, rolls, and toasted sandwiches in Bernese buns and lovely loaves. This is the first paragraph. Is that clear? First sentence is rewording. Second is what you see on x-axis and on y-axis. Right? You can just write that. Okay, now the next one is overview. Whenever you write overview, always remember this sentence. Overall, it can be seen that. And there is another one. What stands out from the graph is that. Because when you're writing overview, it means what is it that you're taking out of that graph. Right? So what stands out from the graph is that, or overall, it can be seen that Bernese buns is generally the busiest bakery. Now you can go back and see. Saturday sales of Bernese buns is higher than the other bakery. So you've written it's the busiest bakery. And one thing, let me tell you interesting point. There is no number in overview. You can only use the year if you want to. Do not use any number. Do not use any value. Do not use any statistic. Because in overview, you just tell overall. You don't use any specific information there. So, lovely loaves in 6 out of 8 items. Full stop. On the whole, savory foods. Now you will talk about foods which are more popular. First you talked about bakery, which is more popular. Now you will talk about food items. So on the whole, savory foods such as toasted sandwiches, salads and rolls are not as popular as sweet items like cakes and cookies. So first, which bakery is more popular? Second, which item is more popular? This is what we call overview, and now you will not write any conclusion. After this, you will start with number 1 item, number 2 item, and by the way, this book and this unit will teach you all the vocabulary, grammar, which you need to write such type of sentences. Number 1. Number 2, in our class WhatsApp group, I have shared a handout that contains the vocabulary for graphic information. There is a specific vocabulary. I've already shared the handout, so you can find all the things, all the sentences, phrases, words from there. Anyways, in terms of sales, at Bernie's Buns, donuts come top of the list. Now you will talk about both bakeries separately. Okay, you will not just mix up or mingle all the things. Talk about first bakery, number 1 item, number 2 item, number 3 item, then talk about second bakery. And the first bakery should be that has got the highest sales, right? Donuts come top of the list with an average of around 155 sold on a Saturday. Focus the language, right? And by the way, marking criteria for task 1 is also same. 4 parameters, they're the same. Okay, next they say cookies and cakes are the next best seller. Now, if you're only right, number 1 item is donuts, number 2 item is this, number 3 item is that, number 4 item is that, full stop. Then write next paragraph, number 1 item, number 2. You need to be wordy. Wordy means how to present these trends, how to convert the trends into sentences. That's what you got to do. So, 115 and 100 of these snacks. Now, the word snacks refers the same items like cookies, sandwiches, and all that. You're using word snacks for that. Sold respectively. Savory foods are less popular. Bernie's Buns sell slightly more rolls than crisps with roughly 75 of each leaving the shelves. Now, leaving the shelf means they sell it. And toasted sandwiches and salads are not nearly as popular with just 25 and 18. And then you talk about the next bakery. Their number 1 item, number 2, and again you will use same phrases. Is that all clear? And it needs practice. Now let me tell you about a good resource which I've already shared with you. In your class WhatsApp group, we have this book, Ielts Journal, Academic Training Module. And you can see they have given some charts there, Ielts Journal. So this book is ideal to deal with any type of graphic, any type or every type of graphic. Right? So you should use this book actually. It's the same Ielts Journal. I mean, all the books have the same title. Ielts Journal for writing task 1. In this book, you will find every type of graphic information, but you need to start with this book. This book will develop your understanding and type, because for report writing, we have 4 types. Number 1, graph with a trend. Number 2, comparative graph. And by the way, graph with a trend, it can be line graph, it can be bar chart, it can be even pie chart, right? So don't worry about that. Information and the method is same. Second is comparative graph. Third is process diagram. And fourth is map. They may give you a map also. And you never know, but the most common ones are the first and second. Graph with a trend and comparative graph.